Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vero if you don't know me. So in this video, I wanted to go over 5 don'ts of Portugal. It's been about a month and a few weeks since I've been back, and there are quite a few things that I learned. So my goal is to just go through things and learn from them, right? And then teach you guys not to do the same mistake that I did. I just did it. Why are you gonna do it as well, right? So yeah, I made a video right before this one, and I went over just things that I did learn while I was in Portugal. So make sure you check that out if you haven't done so already. But in this video, I just wanted to go over a little bit in detail of 5 don'ts of Portugal. Again, if you are looking to travel there, or maybe one day you know you will, it's on your bucket list, then make sure that you watch this video first before you head out there. All right, stick around. So when you are in Portugal and you are using your debit or credit card, so if you're in a restaurant or a store and you're making your purchase, it's going to ask you after you put your PIN in, or if it's a credit after you've swiped, it's going to ask you if you want to pay in the local currency or if you want to do the exchange. Don't choose the exchange option. You will be charged the most. Every single transaction that you do, make sure that you just go ahead and hit the local currency. It's actually it could be a difference up to $1. Sometimes it's just a few cent difference. But if you're in Portugal for a week, 2 weeks or more, and you're using your credit card nonstop or your debit card, that's going to add up. So make sure that you do not hit the exchange and you do the local currency. Your bank is going to go ahead and do the exchange for you. You're their customer, you're their client. They're going to want to give you the best exchange rate. So let them do it at the bank. Don't do it while you're in Portugal. The second don't of Portugal that I want to share with you while we're on money subject is always have cash on you. Like I told you in previous videos, I always make sure that I do the exchange here before I even head out to any country that I go to try to get the best exchange rate. Doesn't matter how you do it, whether you do it before you arrive or once you're there, but just make sure that if you haven't already once you arrived, get that change, go get that cash, because there's going to be so many local vendors out on the streets. There's going to be small mom and pop shops that just don't take debit or credit cards, and you're going to be missing out on one, authentic food, local goods, and you don't want to miss out on that, right? You want to make sure that and good prices, you want to make sure you don't miss out on those. Stay away from those big box stores and those big chains. Always go local, and most than likely they may not be able to take those debit or credit cards. If you're in the touristy areas, they will. Everywhere you go in the touristy areas, they do take everything. But once you start heading off to, up those mountains and further into Portugal, there's going to be a lot of shops that just don't accept it. So make sure that you have that cash handy. You really want it, Giovanni? We'll get it for you.
I would buy it if it was cheaper, because it's not worth it either. And then if it was like $5, I would get it. You see? Right.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. I saw a girl with it.
I also wanted to add to make sure that you have enough cash once you get away from the more populated towns or cities. You're not really going to find those ATMs, so make sure that you have enough. So for my third don't of Portugal is don't expect to be able to walk all of Porto and Lisbon on foot. It's not going to happen. You'll probably get a few blocks and then you're going to regret it instantly. There's tons of hills and stairs everywhere you go.
And you sit down and you sometimes still tolerate it. And they have the most beautiful views of Porto, and they're so funny.
Not to mention, Porto's huge, and so is Lisbon. They're both the biggest cities of Portugal, the most populated and the most visited, the most touristy as well. So there's so much to do, fun places, but you won't be able to walk it all. even if you stay if you strategically pick your Airbnb or hotel to be closer to the areas that you want to visit the most, even then it's going to be tough to get around. And also, even in car, you don't want to drive in Porto, that's for sure. But I recommend that you maybe do a scooter, rent a scooter, or do one of those like Segway tours, so that you can kind of get around and maneuver around a lot easier in the streets. And get to see more. You can also do an e-bike rental, but there's a lot of hills, but it's an e-bike. I guess you can get away with that. You don't have to pedal. But also the tuk-tuk tours. So what I did and what I recommend that you do is pick one of the cities where you're going to do the hop on, hop off bus. You're going to get to see mostly all of the area. And then the other, if you do, for example, if you do the hop on, hop off tour in Porto, then when you go to Lisbon, do a tuk-tuk tour. You can get the experience, two different experiences in each place, but then still be able to see the most. The town, I mean, not the towns, the streets and the alleyways are really kind of tight. So, getting through and maneuvering with a car is just, it's pretty hard. So do those, a tuk-tuk tour or hop on, hop off, but just don't expect that you will be able to walk it all, because believe me, you're not. And if you think you are, or if you did do the trip and you can kind of tell me otherwise, let me know. But I really don't think that it's doable. Another thing to add to that is don't stay just one day in each of the places, which is what I did and I regretted. I wish I could have seen more. I recommend spending at least 2 days. I mean, 3 days would be best. I think you could see pretty much everything at a slower pace. But at least 2 days is what I would recommend, and break down your day, do half of the city in one day and then do the other half the other day. So for my fourth don'ts of Portugal is don't book your accommodation without first scoping out how you are going to get there. And I don't mean transportation wise, I mean, what are the roads like when you're, to get to where your Airbnb or hotel is. So I'm telling you this from experience, of course. When I went on Airbnb, my goal was I want to pick the Airbnbs that have the best view, right? I want it to be comfortable. Yes, we're very easy to please. So really my main thing was the views. Well, there's a reason why my Airbnbs had amazing views, is because they were in the darn stars. They were so high up. I had almost a panic attack going up these mountains. 3 out of the 5 Airbnbs, they were really high up on the mountains. And these places, these countries, a lot of them, like Portugal, when you get to a certain area, they don't have these rails. So you're going up and you're going around the mountain, and you can just see that drop, the drop into other towns, the drop into a river. Very scary. So if you are like me and you are afraid of heights, that's something to consider, is making sure that you do your research. Call, and even if you don't want to research, it's just as easy as sending the Airbnb host a message and asking them, how was the ride up there? Especially that I got a little nervous because one of the rides up the mountains, it would, as I mentioned, we went in February, so it was cloudy the whole time, and some of the time I thought it was going to rain, it didn't, but I had that fear of, we're going to be up there so high in the mountain, it's going to start downpouring and I'm going to be in a mudslide. Thankfully that didn't happen, but these are the things that are going through my mind, and it's scary, especially when you have your family with you. You can't control it, you can't save yourself if something happens, but if you don't care and you're adventurous, go for it. But at least be aware, and that getting to these places, it's a journey. So don't book an accommodation without first knowing how you're going to get there. Okay, so now I'm in my last fifth don't of Portugal, which is my favorite thing to do when I travel is don't leave without making sure that you grab yourself some souvenirs. It's a great reminder of where you were. A lot of people, when they go and they buy souvenirs, they just kind of pick what they like and, you know, that's what they bring home. I like to go the route of what is popular in the area or what is that area best known for, and then I would buy something that has to do with that. So let me just show you really quickly all of the things that I got. So I want to start with, so I went and visited the Coin Caves, which is in São Mamede, Portugal. A lot of people know the Fatima area, but it's like one of the little towns next to Fatima. So because we were in a cave, we wanted to, you know, make sure that we get something related to what we saw, right? They have a museum there, and it, you know, with tons of different sulfate and minerals. So I made sure that I grabbed myself one. Look how beautiful it is. It's so shiny. So we can't even touch it. Well, the lady said that if you touch it, make sure you wash your hands right away, because it is poisonous, you know, like the material, or not the material, but whatever it is that's on it. You can kind of see like these little white, like a powder substance. My son looked at me and said, why in the world would you buy something that's poisonous? Well, it's not for you to touch. That's why, buddy. But yeah, look how nice that is. So another thing that we got, so we went to Aveiro. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Aveiro. So Aveiro is known for the salt mines. They have salt pans, and each family owns, you know, there's a family owns each one of like the salt pans. So I heard. So of course we had to get something to do with salt, right? So just a little bag of salt, and it has Aveiro. So it's a reminder, you know, you look at these souvenirs and it reminds you, oh yeah, you know, Aveiro, it's salt, because they mine salt there. So we went to Óbidos, and in Óbidos, it's a walled city, and you know, you learn about the story about how the king kind of gifted Óbidos to his wife, the queen at the time. And don't ask me the names, I don't remember, I just remember the story. But anywho, you know, at times, you know, there was tons of knights and all over the place. And then also it really does remind you of the movie Game of Thrones. So when you walk in, you hear people actually playing like the theme song of Game of Thrones. So we wanted to make sure that we grab something like a medieval kind of souvenir. So my husband picked these, and I think these were pretty cool. So he picked this one. And then, so he puts these, so when I get souvenirs, I like to put them in what I call my memory shelf. If you watch my other videos, I've made a few videos in front of the memory shelf. It's where we put up all of our souvenirs. But this specifically, my husband's going to put in his computer table. Like he has stuff just kind of, you know, kind of themes of like medieval and knights and stuff. So he's going to put that there. And then he also picked, this is one of my favorites. Look how cool this is. It's like a knight face, and look at the detail on it. So cool. This one I picked out. So I also got this in Óbidos. It's ginja is very well known in Portugal. It's what they drink the ginja a lot there. And in my Óbidos video, you'll see that I took some ginja shots in chocolate cups. So this is kind of like a gift set, right? But I bought it, obviously. I was going to drink it. I wasn't going to keep it as a souvenir. Unfortunately, if you have kids, you'll understand. Geesh. So this came, so I don't know if you can see this. Let me take it out so you can see it. So there's 3 little holes, right? So in each hole, there's 3 chocolate cups. So I made the mistake of just leaving this out there in the open for the kids to see, and they ate my chocolates. So I can't take my shot. I can't take my shot of ginger without the chocolate cups. So no cups, but it's all right. But it came in such a cute little, like, so if you want to get these also as gifts for like friends and family, this was only $3.99, guys, and it came with a 5, I don't know, I don't even know how big this is. How big this is? Okay, it doesn't tell me. Anywho, look at this little tiny bottle, and it's 19% alcohol, so it's pretty strong, but it's so good. And it comes in a cute little bottle, and again, it comes in a nice little like package, and it did look really nice with the chocolate cups there, but my kids ate the cups. At least they didn't open the bottle, thank God, right? They know better than to do that, but they took my chocolates. Okay, so the last souvenir that I got, and I could not have left Portugal without the biggest reminder of Portugal, in my opinion, and I'm sure for a lot of people too, and you'll see when you go there. All of the buildings, all of the houses, they all have tiles, all different beautiful tiles, and each one different, none the same. So I had to make sure I got something with tiles, right? But look how cute this is. They had so many. It was so hard to pick one. I ultimately went with blue because blue is my favorite color. And when I went to a lot of the like the local restaurants in Portugal, I noticed that like in the kitchen areas they had like little roosters, and I don't know the meaning of it, but when I was younger and I had my Portuguese friends from Fall River, their parents had a lot of the roosters in their kitchen. So this is why I chose this one. And, you know, I can hang it up. So I was actually going to hang it up like on the side of my memory shelf. But yeah, tile, something with a tile. You've got to go and get something with tile before you leave. So that is it, guys. Those are my 5 don'ts of Portugal. I hope that you did enjoy the video. I hope that it was informative and maybe gives you some ideas of what you may want to pick up. Make sure that you pick out, you know, when you're buying some souvenirs, or when you're traveling, all of the things that maybe you shouldn't do. But thank you for watching the video. I hope that you continue to stick around. This is my last Portugal related video, so a little sad, no more talking of Portugal, but happy because that means now I can focus on my next adventure, which you will find out soon enough. So thank you for watching, guys. Until the next time, as I am living in the moment. Bye.